Hey, Bulls and Bears, I hope you are well. We are back with another dose, and things continue to unfold in this economy here, pretty much how we expected it to unfold. We're seeing new records being set here, or actually, this is a 15-year high. It's not an all-time high record. Layoffs just surged to the highest since 2009, folks. That's 15 years. And yet, if you listen to the talking heads out there, you would think that everything's fine, that everything's normal, that we're on a recovery. Remember, recovery. We're recovering from 2020. How long did we hear that? But the recovery was, what was it? Inflation, massive money creation, propping up of the bubbles, preventing bubbles from bursting with rescue programs. We have the $10,000, the newly introduced, soon to be introduced, $10,000 tax credit for first time home buyers. Again, looking to keep the bubbles inflated, looking for ways to help people buy these overpriced assets. And they may not be overpriced because that depends on what happens in the future. If home prices double from here, and I know some of you are laughing right now, but if home prices double from here, then the prices that we're seeing today are not overpriced. And again, some of you are probably cracking up saying this guy is crazy. Home prices doubling, that's impossible. Folks, ask the people in Venezuela, Zimbabwe, many different countries that we've talked about here, Weimar, Germany. Ask these people, the home price bubble did not burst. In fact, they saw hyperinflation. Home prices doubled, tripled, quadrupled because the currency lost its value so quickly, right? And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that it's possible. And also think about this. What if they start creating more money? Right now, we're seeing $1 trillion created every 3 months. That's another all-time record, right? So things are just escalating. The rescues have to get bigger. The money creation has to get bigger. The rescue programs, the incentives, all have to get bigger to keep this thing from imploding. Well, let's get back to the layoff numbers here. This was highly anticipated, especially with the slowdown in real estate. Remember all the different industries and all the different businesses that are connected to real estate. And even though home prices haven't crashed, when you see super low sales volumes, you're going to see a lot of different industries affected, and therefore you're going to have headlines like this. Layoffs surged in February to the highest level since 2009, folks. That's a 15-year high. And nobody here should be surprised. It's going to get worse as we get into 2024. Here we are mid-March almost. And anybody surprised by this, maybe you've been watching just corporate news media. But this is what happens when you see the type of slowdown that we're seeing, when you see the levels of debt that so many consumers are buried under right now. And it's not just this one headline, a lot of headlines out there about this here. Here's how CNBC put it: layoffs rise to highest for any February since 2009. And I continue to hold my ground here that I still think inflation is a bigger threat than deflation, right? 99% of the other channels out there, they had been, and some of them still are, predicting deflation, meaning a crashing market, falling prices. I see just the opposite, and maybe I'm the only channel out there that sees this. I see more inflation in all the different areas. I mean, maybe with the exception of car prices, home prices starting to come down a little bit. Look at food here. What's going to happen to beef prices with this massive fire in Texas? The biggest wildfire in Texas history highlights cattle ranchers' challenges. And what I read was the areas affected there in Texas, and I told you this was going to happen. Severe weather, extreme weather events are going to be part of what we see here. Also, severe weather and extreme weather events are driving up the cost of materials, and the rebuilding cost and materials and all these, even the labor costs are going up because of shortages and the destruction of so many homes, right? Imagine what it costs now to rebuild a home in Hawaii after the disasters over there. Back to beef prices, you're going to have a major shortage. This was 85%. This area affected in Texas was 85% of all beef cattle in Texas. That's what I read here. To me, that seems like a lot. And we have to ask the question, what are the odds that the fire would hit in this area? This is out of a Market Watch. The Smokehouse Creek Fire in Texas Panhandle area torched more than 1 million acres. It'll have substantial a substantial impact on Texas agriculture. 85% of the state's cattle population is on ranches in the affected area, folks. 85% of the Texas cattle population there in the affected area. So this is going to drive up the cost of beef, of course, the cost of hamburger, and a lot of the fast food places. I mean, what I hear, some of them don't even serve real beef anymore. I was actually in Burger King the other day, and they had a sign up that says we use 100% real beef. So apparently, Burger King still uses real beef. If you want to believe everything that you're told by, the companies, of course, they're trying to sell their products. So are they just saying that, or is it actually real beef? Well, we'll see how the prices get affected here. But we have to use this information, I think, to plan and prepare for what we have headed at us down the road here. If you're holding cash right now, waiting for markets to correct, waiting for deflation, you're going to be very disappointed if this thing continues. I'm talking about the economy continues to evolve into bigger and bigger inflation numbers as we go forward. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into some other news here because I missed putting out a report yesterday. My voice is a lot better today, by the way. Thank you for those that were asking. Actually, I wasn't sick. I just overused it on Friday, and it was a combination of overusing my voice, basically 4 different conference calls, each of them almost 2 hours, not enough sleep, and I think not enough hydration, right? So, but thanks for asking. I'm better now. But let's go ahead and get into the other news here I wanted to touch on today. Let's talk about financial freedom. And to many, financial freedom is owning your home free and clear. And take a guess how the United States stands compared to the rest of the world in the amount of people that actually owns their home. Well, according to Forbes, and this came out within the last year, I must have missed it when it first came out. According to Forbes, the United States is the third lowest in the percentage of households that own their homes free and clear, meaning without mortgages. And the number one place, or the number one country where people own their homes free and clear, is 83% of people in Lithuania own their home free and clear. Other countries in the top 10 there: Hungary, Slovenia, Poland, Greece, Italy, and Japan. So pretty interesting. And we're the third lowest. In fact, if you get a percentage here, only 23% of homes in the United States are owned free and clear by the owners. And that's pretty astonishing. The only 2 countries that were worse were Denmark and the Netherlands. So the reason I'm bringing this up is what's going to happen if we do see a downturn, if we do see deflation, if we do see foreclosures pick up. Again, I don't think they're going to let foreclosures happen. I think they're going to do another 2020 type of forbearance to prevent foreclosures, and that's going to put a bottom under home prices. And that's just my opinion. Nobody knows exactly what type of programs are going to be introduced or not be introduced, right? Just my opinion. Maybe you know. If you do know, please let us down below. Please let us know in comments here. But think about the home ownership rate and how many people, if they lose their homes, if they allow deflation to happen, if they allow the housing bubble to go bust, how many more people will lose their homes? But think about this: even when they rescue the mortgage holders, it doesn't really help these people own their home. It doesn't help them pay off their home. It just prevents foreclosure, but it's still, the debt's still there, the mortgage is still there. A lot of times what they do is they'll just tack the missed mortgage payments onto the end of the mortgage, and essentially extending the mortgage out however many payments or many months that they were able to skip during the rescue period. So pretty interesting. All right, people, I want to thank you again for your support on this channel. I continue to bring you the news. The views on this channel are very, very low compared to what we used to get over the past few years, right? So I'm making some improvements. I got a new microphone coming tomorrow. You're watching me on a newer video camera, which I think is a lot higher quality. Hopefully the sound will be better starting tomorrow going forward. And one more thing too, I wanted to mention, the one complaint that I saw in comments and also through direct feedback was too many commercials, and then the sponsorships and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to not have any sponsorships over the next few months and run less commercials if I can. Also, that's a little bit of a challenge because I've been told, and it was insinuated that if I didn't run commercials, that my videos wouldn't get shown to anybody, basically. So that's a kind of a challenging part of it. But I will stop doing these sponsorships for a while, with the companies that I had. Like 1 minute, I would set aside a minute and read, a sponsorship. I'm going to stop doing that. and see if that might help retain some of the viewers. Even if it doesn't pick up views, even if views don't increase, if I stop losing subscribers, that would be a plus, right? So I'm going to give that a try. Please let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. In February, the worst in 15 years. Amazing. The home ownership rate, third lowest in the world here in the United States. Crazy times, folks. What's going to happen going forward? More rescue programs and inflation, or we're going to see something break and markets collapse with deflation, right? Who knows? But we got to prepare for both scenarios, everybody. As always, keep stacking. We'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now. Peace.